Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that's super important, but honestly a little overlooked in crypto. It's called transaction finality, and it's basically the bedrock of digital ownership. Let's get into it.
Okay, to kick things off, let's just picture this. You've got a trader in Lagos, and they've just closed a huge $20,000 Bitcoin deal. Now, the buyer says the coins have been sent, and sure enough, they've left the wallet. But our trader, they don't just release the goods. Nope, they sit there, and they wait for what feels like forever.
So why the wait, right? I mean, if the coins are gone from the wallet, the deal's done, isn't it? Well, this gets us to the big question for today. In this whole blockchain world, when is a transaction actually final? Like truly 100% locked in, can't be reversed, point of no return final.
And to figure out why our trader is so patient, we have to talk about the whole problem of irreversibility. Think about it. How do you guarantee something can't be undone in a network that's spread all over the world with literally no one in charge?
That guarantee, that's what we call transaction finality. It's that magic moment when a transaction goes from pending to being a permanent, unchangeable part of history. It's kind of like the ink drying on a contract, but for the digital world. And honestly, without it, the whole system of trust just falls apart.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. Not all blockchains do this the same way. It turns out there are two totally different approaches, two flavors, if you will, for how to get to that point of no return.
So you've got probabilistic finality on one hand. Think of this like building confidence over time. The longer you wait, the more certain you get. It's all about playing the odds. Then, on the other hand, you have deterministic finality. This one is way more black and white. It's like a light switch. Boom. A specific condition is met, and the transaction is instantly and 100% final. So it's the difference between saying, yeah, it's probably final, versus, yep, it is definitely final. Let's dig into that first one, the probabilistic model. This is the OG method, the one Bitcoin is famous for. The whole idea here is security in numbers. Picture this. Your transaction gets put into a block, and that block is like a single brick in a giant wall. Now, every new block that gets added is another brick stacked on top. The more bricks you pile on, the more impossible it becomes to just pull out that original one from the bottom. You'd have to tear down the whole wall. So, here's how it plays out step by step. First, you send your transaction, and it goes into this big digital waiting room called the mempool. Next, a miner grabs it and puts it into a block. But that's not the end of the story. The real security, the strengthening, happens as other miners keep adding new blocks on top of yours, basically burying it deeper and deeper into the blockchain's history. And this is exactly why our trader in Lagos was waiting. For Bitcoin, the magic number, the industry standard, is 6 confirmations. That means waiting for 6 new blocks to be piled on top. On average, that takes about an hour. Only then is the transaction considered so secure that reversing it is practically impossible. That's the wait.
All right, now let's flip the script and look at the other side. Deterministic finality. A lot of the newer blockchains, especially the proof-of-stake ones, go this route. You know, the ones where validators put their own money on the line to secure the network. Well, instead of that slow and steady block piling up approach, they do something way more direct. They just hold a vote. As soon as a super majority, usually more than 2/3 of the validators, gives a thumbs up on a block, bam, it's instantly final.
And right there, you can see the huge benefit for you, the user. It's all about speed and knowing exactly where you stand. There's no more waiting around, no more clock watching. The transaction is final the second the network comes to an agreement. It's not a guess anymore, it's a guarantee. Okay, so we've got our two main styles, the wait-and-see probabilistic method and the instant vote deterministic one. Let's take a look at how this all plays out in the wild. How do some of the big names in crypto actually stack up, and what does it mean for how fast they are? And wow, the differences are huge. You've got Bitcoin taking about an hour. Then there's Ethereum, which is now deterministic, and it's down to around 13 minutes. But then you get to chains like Polkadot and Solana, and we're talking mere seconds. It's a completely different league. Solana has a really cool system, actually. It's got these different levels of doneness. Your transaction gets processed pretty much instantly, which feels super fast. Then it gets confirmed when enough validators vote on it. That's good enough for most things. But for that absolute ironclad 100% guarantee, that's finalized, and it happens at about 13 seconds. It's smart because it gives people a choice between fast enough and absolutely irreversible. Polkadot is another one that's engineered for speed. They've got this cool piece of tech they call Grandpa. And the really clever trick here is that they split up the work. Some parts of the network focus on making new blocks, while Grandpa's whole job is just to finalize them. And it doesn't even look at single blocks. It votes on whole chains of blocks at once. That's how it can lock in tons of transactions super fast.
All right, I know that was a bit in the weeds, a little technical. So let's bring it back. Why does any of this matter to you? Whether you're building stuff, using apps, or just trying to figure out what Web3 is all about, why should you care about finality?
Well, it matters a ton, because a blockchain's finality speed dictates what's even possible on it. Think about DeFi. You can't have a fast-paced exchange if every single swap takes an hour to confirm. Or what about gaming? Imagine buying a rare sword in a game and having to wait 15 minutes to find out if it's actually yours. It would be terrible. So, fast, predictable finality, it's literally the engine that powers the most exciting parts of Web3.
And this brings us to a really powerful idea, especially in those proof-of-stake systems. It's called economic finality. The guarantee isn't just based on code, it's backed by cold, hard cash. See, validators have to lock up a ton of their own crypto as a security deposit. If they try to cheat the system and reverse a final transaction, the network automatically slashes them. It takes away their deposit. We're talking millions of dollars. So trying to attack the network becomes, well, economically stupid. And this quote just nails it, right? Finality isn't some boring technical detail. It's the silent handshake, the invisible contract that makes this whole new economy work. It's what lets us believe that a digital thing can be truly ours, and that once the deal is done, it's done for good. So this really leaves us with a big question for the future of Web3. The whole space is kind of in a tug of war. On one side, you have the demand for lightning-fast, instant guarantees from these deterministic systems. But on the other, you have the slow, patient, but incredibly battle-tested security of something like Bitcoin. So what's more important? Is the future all about speed, or is that slow burn certainty the ultimate prize? What do you think? I'd love to hear your take.